doing one or two. And I'm here to talk about the process and how you can go about building your portfolio as a newbie or beginner. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Omar, for honoring our invitation. And I hope our audience get a better time to learn some awesome tips on how they can build a product, a portfolio online. Okay. I think I will need to go back to the UX lady once again. So we stopped at your passion after you discover that, okay, I need money. The next thing you talk about your creativity and what you stand to offer the industry. So I want to know, how did you discover yourself as being creative in terms of before you can say, oh, I want to start this journey in full. How did you discover yourself being creative? Is it something from your right from your childhood or you learn on the go?
So I have never been the creative one, like the one that could draw or the one that could color stuffs properly. So I was never that kind of child. I never knew I could even design at all. It was first about, I think about 5 or 6 years ago, I started learning um, software development, and then I wanted to be able to program games and code, like program games, hack, and do some other funny stuffs. And I started, and I realized that I was getting jobs, help me code this website, help me do this, help me design this website, you know. And I realized that we had like badly designed websites. So the color was bad, and I could in my mind say that, these colors are not like really good. Somebody could get blind, by just looking at this. And that was when I said to start designing the apps for people when they when they come. I want you to design, or I want you to code this for me. I design it better, and then I make it look work better for them. I never need anything called Adobe XD, Sketch, Figma, nothing. I did not know. So I would draw like with my hands on a sheet of paper, and I would just say, okay, here will be yellow, here will be blue, until one time when I went for this gig, and then someone said, this thing you're drawing with a pencil and a paper, you could just do it on XD. And I'm like, what's XD? And then I checked it out, got the software, and I started designing. So I found out that I would spend more time designing and would enjoy designing than I enjoyed coding the stuff. So that's how I just decided one day that I'll just continue with designing. And yeah, here I am.
That's so amazing, and it's even admirable to hear that you discovered yourself through sketching on different paper before you transform it into a digital asset or got introduced to a platform that can make it easier for you to display your creativity. Wow, it's amazing. I think I would need to hear from Homer to know if you guys have a similar concept towards discovering your creativity. Hi, Homer.
Hi, Kamal.
Yeah. Did you have any similarity to what the UX lady just told us about how she got started or how she discovered her creativity, her sense of creativity?
Well, I could say it's like almost the same, but not exactly the same because I was just like that computer student. I had a laptop. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't even know stuff like this, and I could do stuff like this as a career. And it just happened. Okay, my friend was using Photoshop. Wow, what you doing? Drawing flyers, drawing rectangles. I just thought it was interesting since I wasn't doing anything. I mean, I had a laptop, and that was how I started design. It was in 2018, and it was just basic graphics and everything. And then sometime later, 2018, like I think around November or so, I met someone who was telling me about design. It was crazy because like that was the first time I was learning about it. So wow, I could design apps and all that for a career. So I just started learning it, and yeah, that was it. I didn't have this history or record of best artist, like I was doing good drawing and all those stuff. I just learned everything, right? Everything can be learned from the scratch. So that's just my story. I just learned everything. Okay, I can do this, I can do that, learn how to do it, and that's it. I don't have any track record of being a newborn creative or something. I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah.
But, Omar. So I can agree with you on the note of if you want to get it, just learn it or research about it. So,
Right.
and yeah, that is what's okay. Another thing I would like to know from the UX lady before we move to you again. And I want to know, when did you discover yourself as a good designer? Is it, did somebody prompt you and say, "How? Oh wow, I love what you're doing"? How did that happen?
Um, okay, so I was born with a lot of confidence, and even when I designed rubbish, I just knew in my heart that I was good. So nobody had to tell me, you know, in my mind, I'm good. So if you think you're good, so you're good. So yeah, as long as my solution or whatever I'm designing is meeting a need, you know, I'm good. I don't need anybody to tell me to validate that. I know I'm good. I don't know if you get me. So nobody confirmed anything. I confirmed myself
You validate
that I'm good.
yourself. You validate yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So does that really means you didn't show anybody your design when you're done? Like maybe with your friends to check if this thing actually looks aligned to the modern style?
When I started, I did not have a lot of people understanding what I was doing. So a lot of people felt like I was wasting my life. So having friends was not aligned, no. So it was me working on my laptop for because I was already what's it called? I was already a software developer. So being aligned was not a problem to me. It was that never affected me. So it probably affect people that are just new, have zero ideas, and then they are looking for validation. No, you bring your website to me and I make it look better. Then it was even basically about the look. So I make it look better. And then when you see it, you're like, ah, it's so nice. It's better than what I brought. You know. So that was how it started for me. It wasn't even about the UX part when I started. It was about the UI, the visual design, the interactions, basically. So I never had people to show my designs to. It was probably, you bring your project to me, you probably have it like designed by somebody or sketched out, and I, design it on VS Code. I do everything, and then I show you, and then they're always like, "Oh, this is nice, but can you change this picture? Can this move like here?" And that's all. I did not have anybody to say, "Oh, check it out for me." But I think the whole check it out for me started happening when I got my first UX design gig, and then I had to learn to work under a product manager. So product manager will be like, "Oh no, Kachi, this is not. I don't want this here. This is what I want, or this is how I want it to be." And then being a person of someone that really loved UX, I wasn't placing rectangles anywhere. If I place something here, there is a reason for placing it there. I'm not just placing it to look beautiful. At that time now, I wasn't placing it to look beautiful or placing it to look fancy. I was placing it because usability wise, you know, that was that was the best place to keep that stuff. So if you ask me, oh, why is this here? I'll tell you, okay, this is here because of proximity, this is here because of this is here because of that. So yeah, that's it.
That sounds interesting to me, and I like the fact that you were able to justify how and why you do it and how you're doing it, and couple the fact that you understand that, oh, you didn't need anybody to show you don't have anybody to show your design. You just have to act through and get better at it. Yeah, thank you so much for that response. And yeah, before I move forward, I would like Omar to give a comment on that. Does that align with your own thought as well? Hi, Omar.
Okay, so I think it was a bit different for me because I actually, when I started out, it was someone around my city that introduced me. So I always had him to, hi, please, could you look at this? Could you look at that? But for the most part, he was always busy. So I did it on my own for a while before I started putting it out online. I started posting everywhere, right? It was really not very easy, figuring it out on your own. But yeah, when I wasn't getting all the feedback I needed, I started putting out everywhere. Okay, I had people, okay, this could look better, this could look better, and just all those basic comments you get when you put your work out there. But yeah, I had someone um for a few months and then he wasn't available anymore. So I had to figure it out, and yeah, I did that by putting my work out. I got some reasonable feedback. I practiced, and yeah, I think it was a bit different for me.
Of course, it does. And thanks for sharing that and how you were able to act through. Okay, enough of that. And I think we all have a bit background of how you get yourself rolling as a product designer. So let's just move to the discourse of the day, which is one of the most important things. So, Omar and the UX lady, Kachi, you would have agreed with me that a lot of designers are out there, especially the newbies, they are currently having challenge of getting a job. Sometimes internship or opportunities here and there, and sometimes when they got to the interview, they failed woefully, or people are unable to discover them. So, according to research, I think those people who have portfolio, like a track record of amazing job, gets the gets successful during interview compared to those who are currently starting without any portfolio, because some people are starting but they don't have that that organizing skill of packaging their old work. What would you say about it, and how did you guys get to put your job out there, like in form of a portfolio? What was your first steps, and how does getting your first job, how does it look like? Okay, the UX lady.
Um, do I go on?
Yes, go on, Oma. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, Omar. Okay.
Oh, all right. For me, it was like it was difficult, right? Because there is this thing people say about having people in your network who can refer you and stuff like that. So I had to like really figure it out on my own because I didn't really know a lot of people. So I did some research, right? I did some research about how I could start. There are several ways to put your portfolio out there, but it's easier when you have experience. So when you don't have experience, for me, what I did, I I started working on personal projects, right? It was more of a learning thing for me. As you're learning, you're practicing, you're putting stuff out there. So I started working on personal projects, not just like projects that you do 2 screens, 4 screens, 10 screens, just put it out. I did this, I did that. I started working on something that I took a process, something that involved taking a step by step process, something that involved me breaking down my process, right? I started working on personal projects. I discovered this like from some research I did. So I started out a project, okay, right from when I had to gather information around it, all the steps I had to take, right? I did everything I could because I wanted it to put on my portfolio. I should also not forget to mention, initially it was just me putting out two screenshots. Okay, here I did this, I did that. But then it was a lot tougher for me, right? And after I read this article online, I started um right designing a project that would enable me write a case study, right? Something I could write a case study on, something I could show my process on. And the first it wasn't really an extensive case study, but the first one I did, yeah, I had to show a lot of stuff. And at that point, Behance was like the easiest way I could go about it because um, I couldn't, get a personal project. Dribble didn't allow me for case studies and a couple of other things, and I didn't know how to use Notion at that time. So I started out by doing something I felt was um, something that showed my process on Behance. I did it for like one or two projects. And so this kind of gave me an upper hand because when I see an opportunity, hey, send your portfolio, I've sent it. And for opportunities that required me to, okay, show your process, talk about your process, that requires a case study where you're not just showing visuals, right? That kind of gave me an upper hand. So I did that for like two or three projects. And afterwards, I got an internship, right? I believe that that actually gave me an edge because I know I was like doing it before, like nothing was coming, nobody was even replying to my emails or and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of did it a different way, right? By showing my process and everything and showing how I went about my design decisions. And yeah, that gave me an upper hand. I got an internship afterwards. So I believe it's like a first step to go about it, right? When you're building a portfolio, it's usually better or usually gives you an upper hand if you're not just showing visuals of your design. If you could show a process, if you could show um, a clear and concise where you went about the problem and the solution and stuff like that. So yeah, it helps when building your portfolio. I don't know if that's clear enough. But then yes, another thing. Okay, that's about it for now. That's about it for now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Omar, for that amazing response. So, yeah, you should always focus on the explaining the process of your design, not just concentrating on the visual aspect. And no matter how little your design is, create a very clear case study that would trigger the attention of the assessor or anybody checking out your design. So I'm able to think through what you just said, which is don't focus too much on the visual aspect. Rather, try to explain the process. It's part of it when you are creating your portfolio. Yeah, thank you, man. All right. Yeah, let's go to Kakti, the UX lady. Yeah, what would you say about getting started or creating your portfolio?
Okay, so this is where I say Omar has said everything. Thank you, Omar, for saying everything. It has been said
Okay,
in brief.
okay.
But I think the way she started and the way I started, are like two different ways actually. So I started based on I got most of my internship, not most of my, because I just had one. I got my first internship based on, can you do it? Yes, I can do it. Okay, come and do it. I did not need to show portfolios. They knew at that point that I could code, and I'd done some stuff for them before. So they're like, oh, okay, so you designed this, yeah. So okay, can you be our, and it was even in a very informal manner. I think I've said this to like over 8,000 times. I went to visit a friend, and they were looking for a designer, And then the guy was like, "Ah, no, she designed the last one now." It was as simple as that. And they're like, "Oh, really? Okay, give her the job." And they were like, "Ah, Alpha, are you busy? How much do you want to take?" So it was more like a junior role, not even an internship. I like to call it internship because that was my first official design job. So I prefer to call it internship. I was being paid, like I was being paid well, like a junior designer, and I started. So after that, we were done with the projects. They were done with all the projects. It was a startup. After they were done with all the projects, I bailed. I left because, I did not want to be that person that would keep on revisiting an app, revisiting problems. So I felt like, oh, okay, it's time to move on. So I left another firm, and then it was still based on relationship. I called somebody and said, "Oh, what's up? I'm tired of freelancing. I want to do small. I want to, hit the road." And they're like, "Okay, my friend needs a designer for his firm," and so I did not need to show processes at that time. I did not need to show anything. I just said, "Oh, I've done this app, it's on Play Store, it's on this, it's on that, and then they checked it, and I did it. So they're like, "Okay, since she has done it before, she can do it again." So I did not need to show processes. But right now, and this was when like product design was not like everywhere. It wasn't everywhere, and the whole case study talk was not still everywhere. But now where, case studies everywhere, you have to show case study, you have to show portfolio, you have to show this, you have to show that. It is super important. And then around that important part, Omar's talked about it. Thank you.
Wow, that's so amazing. And creating a portfolio, it should be one of the simplest things to do when you are confident of yourself, confidence of your design. You put it out there, people trace it, and they reached out to you, and yeah, it likely you got the job. All right, thank you, that lady, for that insightful comment. So I would like to know, is there any tools or any platform for putting your design that you think it's necessary for beginners to take note of?
Do you go to myself or Omar? Because Omar is like really good at answering these questions.
Okay, yeah, both of you would answer that as well. So yeah,
Okay.
you can go.
Personally, I tell my students to do Behance. The reason why I tell them to do Behance, it is not complicated. A lot of people have to learn Notion, understand Notion, get a template, edit templates, and which is cool, which is nice. But for a beginner, life is not hard. Let's not try to make it hard. You could decide to learn Notion at on your free period, free time, when you're less busy, probably munching on popcorn or something. You could decide to learn Notion then, and then if you still decide to have a Notion portfolio, you could just transfer your work from here to here. It's not a problem. But the easiest route that I have seen, apart from your personal website, is to have a Behance what's called a Behance portfolio. So it's just easy. Put in the picture, like export as a picture and put it here. It's easy. It's the easiest thing anybody. Just the way you export it and you show it to us on Twitter, export it like that, and you show it to Behance. Put it there and put your processes there. So I think for me personally, one thing you need to understand is people need to see your portfolio even with or without your permission. People need to see your portfolio with or without your permission. People need to just type in your name and see your portfolio. People need to just click on the link in your bio and see your portfolio, get permission, everything. They just need to see it there. But I see a lot of portfolios being locked. I probably want to hire some people and click on their whatever link and I find out that it's locked. And then for Behance, I don't think you can lock stuff like that except it's paid. Like you have premium content, so you can lock it and people have to pay to see it. Those ones are not looking for work. Those ones want work. Like they are the ones that will give you work. Those ones that lock that put up a price for their content on Behance. So for a newbie, you could just get Behance, and I advise that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Behance is the comment or is the platform you recommend and one of the easiest way to quickly put your portfolio out there. All right. Yeah, is it different from your own perspective, Umar?
Nah, nah, it's not different. There are a lot of ways to go about it, but Behance is like so far the easiest. So yeah, I recommend it as well.
All right. Yeah, thank you. And sometimes when people are putting or structuring their portfolio or putting it on Behance and trying to share online, some people do complain about not having engagement. How how did you or what would you say about that in terms of your own perspective of pushing your work online? Would you advise the person to just stop sharing, or what is the psychology behind I share my portfolio? The lady also share her own portfolio. She had more engagement than I do, and it's drawing me back emotionally or making me feel a bit down or reluctant towards pushing my work on social platform. What is your advice on that? Yeah,
Okay, you mean engagement for Behance?
yeah, both bands and both the social platform like Twitter or LinkedIn.
Okay, so when I started out, I really wasn't putting my work anywhere. Like my friends had to like tell me, "I, Omar, you have to come to Twitter. You see a lot of people putting their work." It was in 2019 I opened my Twitter. You have to come on Twitter, start putting your work and everything. So when I started, I wasn't like I did daily UI. I started posting daily UI because I needed something to start posting online based on my friend's recommendation. I wasn't getting any engagements. Like I think it's normal, like to not be getting engagement for some time, especially if you don't have people who can help you promote your work, right? So if you have people in your network who are like already seniors who already have the audience and they can help you promote your work, it's easier to get engagements. But in a situation where, and it's the same thing for Behance actually, when people put their work on Behance, they share it with their network, with any communities they belong, right? They share it like across different platforms for people to like their project and everything. And that's why it's as if some people have more engagements more than the others. So I believe it's not usually easy, but if you keep at it, right, if you're consistent enough, like okay, I've posted like 20 times, people don't like, people don't comment, because my friend was telling me the other day, right, oh my, how do you do this? I mean, nobody likes my design, blah 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 blah. Okay, I just told him just keep at it, right? And for some time he kept posting, and he started getting people to see his work and people to visit his profile and everything. So I believe, yeah, it's easy not to get engagement, but if you're consistent, right, if you keep at it, you won't be having you won't be having any issues with engagements. I would also mention it was the same for my Behance. Like I'll post a project, I'll get like 2 views, 1 view, and then I didn't even mind. Like it didn't even matter. I know I just wanted to keep putting shit out there. Like I just wanted to like keep at it. I didn't mind. So if you're consistent enough, really, people will find you. And probably when you start doing good stuff, when you start putting good stuff out there, people will find your profile. Because for the most part of my career, applying has never been so favorable, right? It has always been people reaching out to me, like different opportunities. There's always been people reaching out, different companies, startups. So people started finding me. But initially, it wasn't that way. Like nobody knew me, nobody knew my profile. So I think if you're consistent enough, I mean, people not seeing your profile today doesn't mean nobody's going to come to your profile tomorrow. You just have to keep at it, right? And for Behance, there's something I've noticed. I don't know. So when you're posting a presentation, I would advise the first page that's supposed to have someone click your profile, right, or click the project, should really, really, really look engaging. Should really visually and anything like otherwise it should really really look great, right? Because it is how the first page looks that would make anyone want to view your full project. I recently discovered that, like, I didn't know that before. So the first page should really look good, should look visually appealing, that anybody would want to see, okay, let's see what this person has got, right? So yeah, that's one thing. And another thing is just you being consistent. It doesn't just happen overnight. If you don't have people in your network who can promote, just be consistent. People will find you. That's something that works for me.
So much, Ma. I think that's highly emotional to hear. Like, keep up with your work regardless, and know why you are posting out there. And yeah, don't too focus on the views at the start. Keep the consistency at high rates. The views and the engagement would definitely find you. Yeah, thank you. I okay. Yeah, let's hear from Kati. Did you have any contrary opinion to that or other alternative?
Yeah, no, I just want people that if you keep doing stuff, good stuff, and you keep posting your work, people would
Is
find you.
audible? We can hear you.
People would see it. People are not blind. You know, you do something really good and you post it on Twitter, you post a link on. Can you hear me?
Clearly now, clearly. We can hear you clearly now. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so I was saying that I don't know why people are so bothered about getting views, getting thumbs up, or not. I'm just saying that if you do something good,
Okay, we lost you for a moment, Kachi. Okay, while we are waiting for the UX lady, I can see some people raising up their hands, like right now. So immediately after this session, we would take questions. So you can start noting down your question, put it on the paper, or so that once we invite you to speak, you will be able to go on with your question. So I think, yeah, are you back, Archie?
hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay, so I think my network comes out for a minute. Okay, so I was trying to say that I don't know why people are bothered about who views and who doesn't view your portfolio or your projects. If what you're putting out is good, people would look for you. If what you're putting out is nice, people would find you. Just like Oma said, they will find you. So make sure what you're putting out is premium content, what you're putting out is good, and leave the finding to people. And a lot of people don't know that the views on Behance are bots. You can buy them. So you are here killing yourself over people buying views. So why not just sit down, re-strategize, work out, practice, and put the best content out there, and you'll be seen. The main goal of this portfolio or this case study is to get a job. The main aim of the project is to get a job, is to be seen by recruiters. You will put out good content, and whether you have 5 views, I know people that don't even have 1 view. They don't even have case studies, and they are lead designers for firms. They don't have it. So let's take our eyes off the views and engagements. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kachi. Let's focus on the real content and be super consistent with what you are doing. So leave competition aside. When you're starting as a newbie, focus more. on creating viable content, the views and the engagements would later find you. Okay, I think this would be my last question for Omar and the UX lady. I think we already get enough insights into how we can create a good portfolio for us to get the required job. So both as a speaker testify to, okay, when you create a beautiful, nice content or design out there, and you show it to the rightful people, you still need to do more of networking, connecting with those people that already have the engagement for you to be able to scale faster online. So that would make me ask this last question from both speaker. Then we start taking questions from the audience. So yeah, I think Omar would go first on this. So Omar, after you discover yourself and you started putting out there and you get job and things like that, things started falling for you in a good time. What would you advise a newbie in terms of a professional advice, someone that is just getting started with job search? What would you advise them, like that killer advice of, okay, this is how you're gonna do it, and if you do it like this, you should be able to uh, get your dream job. Yeah, Omar.
Well, I think like recently it's become like easier to learn Figma, learn how to design, look for one or two designs, copy from it, make up something and put out there. I think most people are ignoring the basics, right? Because I've had a lot of people reach out to me. Okay, I did this. I just got this. I got the inspiration from somewhere. I got the inspiration. Why is this here? Why is this button? How does it work? They don't really get to explain it. Like for some people I've interacted with, or some newbies I've interacted with, right? Some people really like skip the basics, and some people just think it's about pushing pixels. So if you're here right now and you're starting out, I would recommend that you learn the basics, right? The basics being spacing, colors, grid system, and all those minute things that make up your design, right? Learn the basics because along the line, it's going to come in handy. And yeah, if design is not it, there is money in design. I would recommend, like, there is money in design. A lot of people would recommend, but it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? Because I'm saying this based on people that has reached out to me. When can I start getting jobs? When can I start making money and stuff like that? It's not a get quick rich scheme. If you're just like in need for the money and you're just really, it's easier to get discouraged, right? It's easier to get discouraged because you're thinking, I've been in this stuff for a year and nothing, right? So it's easier to get discouraged because you're not focusing on your growth, you're not focusing on your learning, you just want to get a job, start making money. So, first things first, don't skip the basics. Focus on your growth, learn, read, like this things for you to be able to explain why this thing is here and this thing is not here. It's something you know, and it's not something you learn by looking at someone's design. It's something you learn by reading articles, reading books, right? So I think it's very necessary to be able to defend your design and be able to defend certain things. You should be able to read, like you should be able to research. Like as a designer, you're a researcher, right? So you should be able to read because that would really give you an upper. Like when you're making a design decision, you're like, okay, there's a law that states this, something you've read somewhere, right? So don't skip the part where you have to read, right? So be consistent. It's easy to want to give up, and because along the line in my career, I felt like I wasn't really like, I felt like I wouldn't really get anywhere, because you see people that you started before and everything, they were just quickly getting offers, getting internship, and I was just there doing this, doing that, nothing. So it's easy to get discouraged when people you think maybe you may be better than and stuff is doing better than you. But I just I just want you to be consistent, right? Just keep at it. It doesn't pay off right now, but when it would pay off, you'd be amazed, right? So one thing is consistency, one thing is reading, one thing is learning the basics. Like these things would really help you hone your skills, because once you're good, you're good. And once you're good, getting the job won't be a problem, because there are designers right now, like a lot of designers. But then when you really want someone to do a project, you look for the best, like the best out of the best. So you just need to be really good. You just need to strive to be the best, right? The money will find you. Like like there are opportunities, but there are no. I know it's hard to get jobs. Like it's difficult and everything, but you just need to hone your growth, like hone your skills, and just focus on your growth. Be good. Once you're good, the money won't be the problem. Um, that's like my 1 cent. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you so much, Omar, for that amazing comment. So focus on your craft, learn, be consistent, and the job will definitely find you. Thank you so much. Okay, Kaki, what would be your final thoughts about getting a job and what a newbie needs to know?
Okay, hi guys. See, I'm going to say Omar has said everything, but I'll just chip in. I'm just going to add to what Omar has said. So, um, like she said, please keep the basics, especially when it has to do with UX design. So you feel like because you can make something beautiful, you think you can make it work. So you have to understand that there are different fields in user experience design. You can decide to be a writer. We don't always have to push pixel. We all don't have to push pixel. You can decide to be an interaction designer. You can decide to just do the copy, just do visuals, just do the research part of it, just do the data collection and stuff. So you don't always have to do every single thing. And then another thing I want to talk about, probably a little bit, me diving out of what you're asking. I have seen a lot of people. I know I said this on the space last month, and then a lot of people felt like I was coming for their head. But I'm going to say this again because I've seen it happen overly, like over and over again. You are a designer, yeah, and you probably have like graphic design skills, motion design skills, whatever one, UI UX skill. You have like 5 or 4 different design skills. Nobody's asking you to hide any skill, but find out the one that you like and push it. You cannot push every single thing at the same time and expect to make millions. The fact that I am making money out of UX, or some other person is making money out of interaction, does not mean we don't know how to do the other things. But it doesn't mean I cannot design a flyer, or it doesn't mean I probably cannot do the interaction. But it just means that I am trying to niche down and make money out of one, because you cannot push motion, interaction, writing. You cannot push all content design. You can't push all these kind of designs together. So the reason why some of you, don't have jobs, because you are pushing a lot. You are trying to do, I'm going to use another word. You're trying to use kalu. So if this one does not work, this one will work. If UX does not work, what's it called? Motion will work. No. If you want to make money, sit down with one. Look for the one that you can be doing. They will not pay you. You are still happy. Sit down with that one. Build a portfolio. Build a name for yourself and push it out. That's as much as I can say. I was going through the what's it called now? I was going through like we have 71 participants here, and I was just going through it out of while Omar was talking. I was just going through, oh, this person is here. Oh, I know this person, and then I'm seeing people's bio, and I'm seeing uh graphics design slash motion design slash UX design, and I'm like, okay, this might be the reason why, you guys are not probably getting jobs. On Twitter, you have like five different things. There was a guy I saw, he has Photoshop proficient, Adobe XD, this is the proficient, this is, I'm like, you did not prototype, Bob, you did not need, we don't need to know. So when I'm a recruiter and I come on your app, I know you don't know everything. So it means that probably what I want to employ you for, you are not probably 100% of it. You're not the best in it. So why would I want to give you the job? I'm looking for the best in that field, and you are doing 10 different things, and I'm sure you're not the best in any of the fields. So that's Ella says at 1 cent. This is my own 2 cents, and Oma says at 1 cent. So this is my own 2 cents. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Kaki, the UX lady. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think that is obviously on point and it touches almost every corner of the participant. So I would leave the room open for questions right now. Yeah, thank you, Omar, for your time, for joining us on this call. It has been a wonderful moment with the two of you. You have really, really, really impacted us and we won't forget this opportunity. Okay, yeah, like right now, I would do some kind of integrament with the speakers. You already know that they are currently on Twitter. I think one of the fastest way to get them. So I will paste their username on the chat group so that you guys can rightly connect with them immediately. And you can ask questions, target them online. They will definitely answer you. So we may not be able to take all questions, but at least the little one we take, we would definitely yeah. Okay, yeah, we are currently on the question and answer section. I think I will take question randomly. So if you want to talk, just click on the unmute button. It will show, it will indicate here, then you can ask your question. Okay, you can go on.
Hello.
Young, who is speaking right now? Okay. Yeah, go on. Ask your question, Alatuji.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good
Thank you
evening.
for the thank you for the inspiring section. My question for our panelists is like for the starter like us, how do we go about it to be creative to produce a portfolio, maybe a design? Is it advisable to take like a particular app that have already been in existence and you design it as a practice and use it as your portfolio once you have not gotten a particular problem to solve? So I think it's not easy to create a problem for yourself, like I want to design a particular app that has not already been in existence. So I don't know if my question is well understood.
Okay, you're asking like an application like Kuda, you pick it up and redesign and put it up as part of your portfolio. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, you can do that, but the thing is, you can't just like redesign an app that's existing without an intent, right? It's either you probably identified an issue and you're trying to fix an issue or solve a problem with your redesign. I really think it makes no sense, right? So you could do that, but if you're going to do it, you should probably seek ways to improve on it, right? You could probably do some research around it, figure out loopholes that are existing in the app because no project is perfect, right? Figure out loopholes, figure a way you can solve it and write about it and stuff like that. So if you're going to solve a problem with the redesign and you're not just like duplicating someone's design, yeah, that's something you could have. I don't know if you understand that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Omar, for that. And yeah, Oluwaseyi, you can speak.
Uh, Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, clearly. Okay, Young, go on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for this session. It was really eye-opening. I think my question will be around what when you mentioned pushing multiple things at the same time, people tend to um like not be like jack of all trade, master of none. So what do you have? What happens in a scenario where I'm a beginner product designer and I'm working somewhere, and then someone reaches out to you for a more senior role in something, and you know that you're still growing and you're still in a place where you you're not so comfortable leading a squad. How do you kind of respond and how do you kind of tackle that kind of situation, just from your perspective?
Okay, so personally, I think for somebody to be reaching out to you for a senior role, and then you're probably just, a junior staff somewhere, it means that, they see something that you're not seeing. They see something you're not seeing, and then they know your level. They know that, this is probably these are the stuff you have been putting out, and they think or they know you fit into their senior position. If that's a better opportunity for you and you would like to take it, I don't see any problem. So a lot of us, something we don't say a lot is that we do a lot of learn on the job. We do a lot of learn on the job. So if you want to go, you can learn on the job over and over again. So most of us had jobs where we didn't even know what to press, we did not know what to do, and then someone says, "Oh, you need to do this now." And I'm like, "Hey, what did that thing?" And then you just go on Google, and then what is this? And then you say, like, okay, I know it, and then you go and do it. I don't know if you get. There are times when it's not even clear. You just go on YouTube, how to do this thing, and then it gives you. Thank God for YouTube. Sorry, YouTube gives you like 1,001 videos on how to do that particular thing, and you watch it, and then if now it depends on how fast you are and how smart you are to grab stuff. But if I'm doing 1 minute, I already made sense of it. I already have an idea of what we're talking about, and I pull it off. It might not be perfect the first time, it might not be super, super clean, but the person knows that you know what you are doing. Do you get? So maybe, oh, this color could have been better, or this is not, I prefer the cat to be big, I prefer this to be better. So yeah. So I think it's a nice opportunity, and if you like the place and you see it as a good you know start for you, good leap for you, I think you should take it.
Okay, thank you very much. That was very helpful.
Okay, go on, next speaker. Thank you so much, the ex lady. Okay, go on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I trust everyone is doing okay. So, there's a few questions I actually want to ask. Firstly, the person that just asked the question, he actually spoke my mind in a way. So, actually, I just got a position for a firm for digital marketing strategist. And I've actually tried my best to finish my product management course. So, of course, I have skills in digital designs and website design itself. So the duties that I have to do are way too much. And you were saying, I think the UX lady was saying something about uh, not having too many skills listed on your bio or something like that. But in a position where you go to a job and you're offered a job and they're giving you like you have to be the motion designer, you have to be the graphic designer, you have to be the digital marketing strategist. You have to manage your website. You have to do a lot of things. You have to do their video skits and all those things. And definitely you get to learn on the job, which is not a problem. Well, if they actually, I'm not talking about salary wise though. If they actually offer you something way smaller than all those duties, will you still go for that job, or you just say, I think I can renegotiate this or make it slide?
So I feel like not I feel so whenever you are given a job, you get a JD. So you get a job description, they tell you this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're not supposed to do. So when they start adding stuff that are not in your job description, you have to revisit your pay. You are not their family. You are working. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You
Yeah,
are
I
not
get
their family member. It is not a family. It is not a family business. Your father's name or your uncle's name is not part of this. If it was your father's business, you could say, it's my father's own, it's my own, or it's my uncle's own, it's my own. But if they did not put content management or social media management in your bio, in your job description, and you are doing it, yeah, I know, not I think or feel. I know you should revisit. You should tell them to revisit your what's it called, your salary. And if they refuse, leave it for them. They should hire somebody to do it for them. You're not.
it.
It's you show them your JD.
Surprising, it's actually a new job I just got, and all these things that we just said are part of the job duties, and it's for like 100,000. So I'm like, well, I don't know if I should let it slide or I should just go along with it because it has me
Um,
manage the website and everything all together, like you just mentioned.
okay, are you working remotely?
Surprisingly, they said I have to come to office every single day for 5 days a week.
Okay, how far is the place from your office,
Probably
from
like
your house?
600 naira BRT card loading, like 1,200 to go and come back.
That's a lot. So I don't know how you can't use me as a yardstick for that measurement, because even if it was remote, personally, for just design, I will not collect it. I don't know if you get, for a month, I would not take it. So now I don't know. Are you a junior? Are you a junior staff? Like, did you just start? This is an internship role.
Yeah, I just started.
Okay. So personally, if you can do it, if it's not a big problem, if you can take your transportation out of it, and then you still have something inside of it to probably just chill for 4 weekends, I think you should do it. So if you do it for 2 months, you have that in your CV, you have that experience, and then you could also be typing and pressing somewhere to join another firm. I don't know if you get what
Exactly.
I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be
Yeah, of course.
considerate. So you could probably do it for like 2 months, 3 months. That way you're not jobless, you're not looking for jobs, you're not clicking on everything on LinkedIn. You're a little bit relaxed, and then you have like a hands-on experience. So when you move into the next place, you will not be a novice.
Yes.
You will prepare yourself for, so let's say you do it for the end of the year. That's till like December.
Yeah.
When January is always like, December to January is always like this time where people travel abroad, and then job openings are like plenty. Like, I don't know how it happens, but it's just so much. At
Yeah.
that time, you have like 6 months experience, and then you could just throw your nets, and then hopefully you get picked by somebody that understands your value.
Thank you very much. And thank you, people, for the certificates that you gave to me. I guess that's what actually helped me to get the job.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, amazing speakers and the questionnaire. I think I will move to the next. I think, John, you can go on. John, you're on. You can go on. Ask your question.
Okay, so I've done I'm a UX designer, but I don't have a
Okay,
portfolio.
we can barely hear you, John. It's like your mic is having issue. Can you please fix that?
Is it louder now?
Okay. Not, you're not audible. It's a bit crappy. Okay, I would advise you join and you disconnect and join again. Then you can try again. So I'll move on to the next. Okay, yeah, I think Acom, you can ask your question. Acom,
Hello. Okay. Can you hear me?
yeah, go on. Yeah, clearly.
Okay. Yes. Actually, it's two questions. I actually it's as regards to the process. So I'm having quite a challenge, or I had quite a challenge, or then I had to like look for a solution. But I don't think it's the most viable. I'm just considering if there are other solutions too. So I'm working on a particular project, and I'm trying to design a mental app. So actually, it's supposed to be more of a case study, but in this case, what I'm really trying to do, because I'm a newbie, so I'm trying to see how I can put in all the processes of UX design and just learn through that project at once. You get from the user research to the design to the testing. So I'm just trying to like use that to learn everything. So um I was trying to solve a problem in the mental space, like trying to find out what is it that mental apps generally don't have. And so, how do I gain insights to try to understand the underlying problems there? Then I caught up with this journal where I could actually read the various reviews from different apps to try to get insights from different users. You know, in App Store and um, in Google Play Store, you have a lot of users like commenting and giving their reviews. Then I moved over to using is it Hitzy, a website that is meant to like help you collate all these reviews from different places and then put them together. But that's just one way in me getting insights. So I was wondering if there's another place, another way I could get insights without necessarily conducting an interview. Because from what I understood, I'm supposed to like be working on my research plan and then be like getting my questions out ready for an interview next. You get so is there like am I supposed to like ask some more questions like prior to when I start the project to be able to still understand the problem? Because like I said, I just only got insights from user reviews from the various play stores. That's one. And then two, well, I've been working on it and I've been working on it for like a month or two. And seriously, I can't getting exhausted because like and the motivation for me is not really strong. So I was thinking maybe there's somebody out here that would like to like embark on a project with me and both of us can just be like working on it and maybe during the weekends we can review what we've done and it's like a win-win for both of us because it's like motivating me to like do more and you two you're like learning and we actually have a good friendship as time goes on. Yeah, so that's it. Hello.
That's yeah, it looks a bit too long, and we uh, the question precisely was not. Can you please just ask your question in a single sentence so that the
There's no
speakers
need.
will be able to.
I got there's no need.
Okay.
I got this question. So first things first, I'll
Mm,
tell you that you don't know the rudiments to UX research yet, and then you
mm,
need to learn it. So um it's not about you trying to you know do your flash way around it. No, it's called research. It's not a joke. Yeah, you need to probably buy a course, learn it. So you sit down and you learn it. So there are alternative routes to research. So if it's a new product, there's a different research you can use. If it's an existing product, there's a different research. If it's a fresh idea entirely, there's a different research method. So you need to sit down and learn user research. And then it's not about somebody joining you. You don't even know how to do it yourself. So if you have another person that doesn't know how to do it, join you. You both don't even know what you're doing, and then you're not going anywhere. So this is me wondering how you're spending like a month on a project that should not even take you like 2 weeks or even 10 days. So first, I think you should learn UX research. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Kachi, for that sweet response. Yeah, thank you, Ecom, for asking the question. Thank you. All right. I think you're back, John. Can you just unmute and talk?
Yeah, I hope my audio is clear.
Yeah, clear now.
Alright. So basically, I just need help in building my portfolio, but I don't know the perfect, should I say, template to use for it. I have two projects already done, and they are both like startups. They are not even case studies. They are actual jobs that I got. The first one is a redesign of an old interface that was not looking good. Basically the person reached out to me to design a flyer for his startup, and then I saw the app, and I sold the idea to him that I could redesign the app and things like that. The second one is a startup also, but it's a website. But now the point is I want to build a portfolio that will help me get jobs, right? But how exactly? I can't just paste maybe links, Figma file link or Figma links of okay, two projects and go and check it and get back to me, something like that. So the perfect template or the way to present the content is what I need help with. I hope I was clear. That's the question. That's
Okay, so you're saying you're working for a startup, or you're trying to work on a project for a startup, and then
I
you're
have
looking for.
I already worked for the startup. I already did the project.
Okay, and you're looking for a way to write the case study, or I'm not sure.
To build a portfolio using that project.
Oh, well, it's like something we explained earlier, right? You did the project. You just have to like write about that project, right? You just have to like, if it's two projects, because you mentioned something about a website and an app, so you just have to like explain your process on that project, probably in a Behance case study or something, right? If you have at least two good carefully designed or carefully written case study on Behance, I believe you have a better shot at at getting a job, or at you're one step away from um getting a good portfolio, filling your portfolio with project. So I think yes, so something you could do is probably just write a case study on it, talk about your process, how you went about it, show us the problem, the solution. Did you research? What was your research outcome? Just something about it. If you can do the same for the both of them, I think you're already making headway. Like you have something for your portfolio. Yeah, like you mentioned, Behance is a great way. So you could probably do that for Behance for the two of them. Yeah, you have something to show at least.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, UX lady. I think I will take one more questions before we call it a day. In case you have any other question, check the comment box. I already tagged the two speaker. So for you to get connected with them on Twitter, the username is at Tasi Omar underscore and at Lady Kachi one. So please don't hesitate to connect with them like right now so that as it is hot, you can quickly get their attention. All right, Joy, yeah, please ask your question. Joy, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, hello, good evening. Thank you so much for the session this evening. I have two questions. My first question is, at what point do you think you are ready? At what point do you think you are ready to start applying for jobs? Because I've been learning UI UX for close to 8 months. I have 1.5 case study I have one case study and the other one is like half because my partner is not really available. So that's why it's not ready. And I have some visual designs that on being hand. But I don't know, I don't feel ready to start applying for jobs. So I don't know, what's your advice? Do you think I should start applying? Or because personally I feel like I'm not ready to start applying for jobs because of all the whole I feel like I'm not, I don't know. Maybe inferiority complex. I don't even understand. But like I feel like I'm not ready to start applying for jobs. And my second question is one of the things you talked about during the call was you saying how you found UX and UI design as something that you love to do. My own story is that I really like to solve problems and I like challenges that will make me solve problems. So like me with that background, I had to like think of why I'm doing all these things. When you were saying your story, I had to think of okay, why am I even doing? Am I sure this is for me? So do you think being a an avid problem solver is one of the reasons why I should stick to UI UX design? So that's one of my two questions.
Okay, for your first
Do you hear
question,
me?
yeah, I think I'll just go first. Yeah, so for your first question, you said you have like 1.5 case study and it's on Behance, or where do you have it?
Yes, it's on being hand.
You know, this um UX industry has become like really competitive. Like, yeah, I don't think the competition was this much like some years ago, but the competition right now is not something I would recommend. Okay, you just have one stuff on your portfolio or two um designs on your portfolio, and you're looking to just so what I would recommend is it's okay to be applying, but be working on something, right? The like you have no idea the other designers you have to like do better than, or whose portfolio like looks better than your own or has done more stuff or stuff like that. So yeah, you can apply, but I think while applying, you shouldn't just like wait because the process can be daunting, stressful, depressing. Say this process of applying can be everything. But yeah, you can be applying. I wouldn't say don't apply because some people get really lucky. They have just one stuff, two stuff. They're able to land an offer with if they do very well at your interviews, right? So yeah, you can be applying, but don't just realize. I think you should be working on something, right? You should, while you're applying, like keep at it, keep updating your portfolio. Just yeah, you can apply, but just don't just relax because it might take longer than you think. It might also take shorter. I don't know, but yeah, just keep doing something. Start working on something, and don't just relax. And also, the product design is like practically about problem solving, right? And that's really like what some people still need to understand. It's about problem solving. And if you're really, really keen on solving problems, I would recommend you keep at it, right? I mean, just mentioned, okay, you love solving problems and that's like what you enjoy and everything. It's a recommended attribute to remain at it. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's a great reason.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you so much, amazing speaker. Thank you, Joy, for coming on stage to ask your question. I think, yeah, we've overstayed on this call, and I know it's very exciting. Like I said, don't hesitate to get connected with the uh, speakers, the UX lady and Omar. They are always available online, and even if you check their timeline on Twitter, you will find some amazing insights on how to structure and optimize your social page as a product designer. So don't let the conversation stop here. On the chat box, you can still ask your question. or just go directly to their Twitter and tag them. They would definitely answer you. All right. Thank you. We have come to the end of today's section. Our next section would be on getting a portfolio set for the for the developers as well. So that will be our next webinar, and that will be next month. I hope you find time to join us, or you recommend somebody that this webinar would benefit. All right, catch up later and have a wonderful evening. Bye.